I'm not sure what these little guys are, but they're much smaller than a Paramecium. I'm shooting this with a Nikon 40x plan achromat lens, and the part in focus right now are granules of brewer's yeast that I put in the water, and as you can see, everybody loves them. They're like Twinkies to them, I guess, because whatever these things are, they're just packed full of yeast. And I'm using a Nikon fluophot scope with a Nikon fluophot phase contrast condenser. And it's in the bright field position with a little off-centered dialed in to give the oblique lighting look, the 3D look. Now we're down to 10x here. The landscape looking stuff in the background is, I reused this slide after it had dried out, and that's whatever the residue was, and the new water is over it. And here we're back to I think this is 10x, and the black circle thing is an air bubble under the cover slip, which attracts different life forms to it because there's more oxygen there at the interface. And now the Parameciums are here cleaning up on, this is 20x, cleaning up on that interface. You see they're rubbing on it, on the side of it, and if you think of a small hand plane, wood plane, they're running along the surface of it, and their mouth orifice is there in the groove there. And they're trying to, I guess, scrape off whatever they use for food there. And they're also full of yeast. And by the way, this is 20x phase contrast, pH 2, using Nikon equipment and lenses. And this is a 40x shot. And here's one of those small things. I believe it's a flagellate. You can see the his whip there at the fat end. I guess he's either partaking of the extra oxygen or he's feeding on something I can't see. Here's some more of them. And we're back to 10x. With oblique lighting. Not really oblique. This is phase 1, phase contrast. And we're back to 20x. And this is over near the edge of the cover slip, another oxygen interface. You can see he's full of yeast and eating more. By the way, these Paramecium samples were sent to me from North Carolina. Several days in the truck in 90-degree weather. And now they have been on my shelf here for more than 3 weeks. And the first day they arrived, I did add a little bit of yeast. I've never been able to keep them alive for very long, and now it's going on 3 weeks or more. And I have divided up the first jar into a second jar, added distilled water to bring the levels back up, and then added a little bit of yeast, and as you can see, they're surviving quite well, active and healthy. So anybody that wants to keep almost any microbe alive and healthy, get yourself some granulated, small granules, by the way, not the large ones, the small granulated yeast, and just add a little bit of a pinch to it every so often, every couple, 3 days. And they'll survive longer for sure, maybe indefinitely, if you add distilled water, not tap water. And here we're coming up on the end.